Yo ke nna moruti ka jeko ke mo go pulpitse. Dumelang batho. Le ke nagana go bona bo abuti ba bangata as well. Ba ile ka bo. Yeah, I was hoping. So, what's happening? But what I go for why was have. As in the review ka dilo tsa rona. Today we're going to talk about life mastery and just identify things that can make you master your life. It doesn't matter if problem or challenges, but we're going to make sure that you actually have the skills to master your life. I always say we are built with internal GPS. And because we don't listen to our own internal GPS, we always get lost. Like now I got lost. I was just going around here. But we have an internal GPS. Mudimu is not such a stupid for aka builder moto areko ahile ofillet about to hela usnanix. We all have our own internal GPS. The only challenge for it, when you're sitting alone, you start looking at another person and say, but where is she going? I think she's going in the right direction, and you follow them. Forgetting about your own GPS. And remember, when you drive a Volkswagen, I drive it the same way as Toyota and as BMW, as Mercedes-Benz. So maybe we're now a Maserati or, these latest cars. But you want to drive yourself as a Volkswagen. Is it possible, Mark? No. It's not possible. So today, you don't really accept who you are. Embrace who you are and run. Run your own race. Stay in your lane. No, stay in your lane. And as you stay in your lane, nothing will ever touch you. And when you are in your lane, you don't even feel bad about where you are, because that's where you are and that's where you're supposed to be. But because we listen to the noise around us, we eventually get confused. And that's why we have depression, but we have society. But a lot of work, which is nice because then we make money, but it's not nice at the same time because we want people to live well. We want people to identify their problems.
Some of us, as you age, then age also ages with you. So is it possible to try and make your mic?
Two? Or the mic? Because I walk around, I don't want to be talking on this. Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me? All right. And another problem that we also have is that throughout our life, especially as Black people, we grow up not embracing the fact that we can actually go for therapy if we have problems. But in the past, there's always been available things to use, available measures. You always go to Rakhadi, to auntie, to your cousin, and women always had social clubs where they could actually talk about their challenges. So that's why we want to about the society. Because at the society, that's where she can actually relax and talk about their issues, and they become well balanced. But now of late, everything is in a rush. Everything, we are going somewhere. I don't know where we are going, but you are going somewhere. The road is full, and everyone wants to join the traffic, but you don't know the direction. So we need to develop our own sense of direction and decide which destination you want to go to. Don't go to other people's destination. Take your own. Decide what you want to do with your life. Okay? And traditionally, as Blacks, I've been practicing for quite a while now, and in the early 2000s, a lot of people would come in, and as they sit, ask a few questions, and ultimately say, when they start talking, meaning I went to somebody. And I don't know why they call those traditional healers Mutu. They will say, and we've been going to Motu for quite a while now, but I realized the help that we're getting from Motu is not really permanent and is not assisting us for too long. And we need to renew all the time. We need to go back again and get some more and do other things and do traditional rituals and stuff like that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Absolutely. That's how we know things and that's how it has always been. But the question is, when you go to that person, is that person giving you skills to live beyond seeing them, or are they keeping you dependent on them? And when you go anywhere for any help, ask yourself that question: am I going to get help to make me free and independent, or am I going to depend on this person for the rest of my life? As soon as you depend on a person for the rest of your life, know that you are in trouble. So with therapy, we try and give you life skills. It's up to you whether you apply those skills in your life for every problem that you meet, or you are that, those dom cops, dom A. We didn't do grade 1s and 2s. We did dom A, sub B, standard 1. And if at dom A you don't pass, what happens to you? You repeat. There was no distance, pass 1, pass all. You repeat. You go to sub B, you fail, you don't know how to write Kesifi. There's no way, Nana, you're not going to standard 1. That's it. And after one, if you don't know that poem, that's it, you don't go to standard 2. But now, because every other level, we get promoted. We get pushed, pass 1, pass all. If 40% of our classmates are passing, the rest can also pass. It's like when you go to Limpopo sometimes, in the past we used to go get licenses for Limpopo at Harvishan or Kemantate Ode. There was a popular one who really made money those days. And you know what they did? You get your learners and you go to Limpopo, and all of you get into a truck. And you decide as a group for that day who do you think you trust. And then if you look at Pula and think, she looks clever, or now I think she's able to drive well. We all choose Pula, oh, she will drive. When Pula passes, we all pass. We all have licenses. But Pula failed, so sometimes we run our lives like that. We want to take one, pass 1, pass all, and life is not like that. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, you account for your life on your own, by yourself. When you die, when you get to heaven, Khabariel will ask you questions. She won't say, Khabariel, level 1, level mama, so mama passed, so it means when you passed. No, you account for your own life. So from today onwards, live your life responsibly. Remember, for everything that you do, we are watching. We are watching. Who are we as people? I sometimes feel psychology steals a lot of concepts from Christianity or vice versa. Christianity stole a lot of concepts from psychology. I don't know which one started first, but yeah. Because we believe in the self-concept and the person who maximizes their skills and their potential to live. And when you read the Bible in certain chapters, it will encourage you to live like that. And the Bible also tells you, the truth will set you free. We psychologists say, the truth will set you free. And I'm going to tell you which truth will set you free from a psychological perspective. But firstly, let's define, who are we as people? When you ask a child to draw a person, a person who can triangle, with the head and the triangle and the legs. Imagine that picture. Your head is who you are intellectually. That's where everything starts. That's where it's the engine of your mind. That's where you think positive or you think negative. That's where you plan your stuff. That's where you plan your life. That's where you receive things and use them. That is the engine of your body. And then you go to the central part, which is the triangle, which is the body. It houses the most important organ in our lives. What is that organ? The heart, which is your emotions, which is your being. If the head is telling you that I am scared, the heart will actually feel scared. And once the heart and the head agrees for it, we are scared, what happens to your body, which becomes your legs, your mobility? It's either you're going to respond by perspiring, or you start stammering, or something will happen that will show for you are not comfortable, you are not happy. If you look at the person in ICU who's about to die, and they are surviving on life support. When they switch that life support off, they switch it off because the brain is dead. They don't say your heart is dead. When they tell you that your aunt or whoever that is lying in ICU has passed away, the doctors tell you that that person is brain dead. And sometimes the doctors see for the person is brain dead way before you see, a day before, 2 days before. But they just have one because they know for sometimes they are magicians. Maybe we'll go to Motu and Motu will do something and somehow, something will happen and that person will wake up. But when the person is brain dead, that's it. The engine of the body is dead. However, because the heart is hopeful, it keeps hoping for the man. When I breathe, man, come alive. It keeps beating to start and stimulate the brain. But remember that the main function of the heart to beat is to pump blood to the whole body. So if the brain is not receiving that blood, we might as well give up. However, there are some times when miracles happen, when somebody can actually come back and say, hey, what are you doing? I'm back. I had a story of a girl who phoned me the other day and said she was actually put in a mortuary and in ice for 2 days. And she was dead, like she couldn't feel anything. Until she opened her eyes and realized that, man, what's going on here? And somebody came to pull up the tray and they realized that she's alive. Because the heart refused to stop. And it kept pumping until the brain realized, oh, this person is really stubborn. Let me listen to her. And that's, receiving the oxygen from the blood that her heart is sending to me. So basically, as we live, we need to realize the connection between the different parts of our bodies, the brain and the heart and our body. And our body mobility in the sense that if we live our lives seated, for instance, forever. You know that there are people who like sitting. Wherever they get to, they want their chair. But where is the chair? Where are you going to sit? Wherever they go, they want to sit down. Why do you want to sit down? When you have a body and legs that are strong, keep moving. Because as you keep moving, you are motivating your heart to keep pumping. And your heart will stimulate your brain to keep spreading the oxygen and to keep pumping. Okay? And the brain and the heart combined together are called your soul. And the soul is something that you cannot touch. And that's why some people will say, I found my soul. It's something that this person you are connected to them, but you cannot say why and how. But you're just connected to them because you're connected at a higher level. At a level where they will be sleeping in another city, but they can feel if you're not okay. That's when souls are connected. So we are the combination of the heart, the brain, and our physical body. And all of that makes up a living soul. And hence, when a person dies, you die as a physical body. We will miss you because we can't touch you. But your soul is still alive. Your soul is still alive. Uspoko. You're not a spook. You're not a ghost. Looking at that triangle that I just described now, it goes back to how you function on a day-to-day basis. Our thoughts, as I said, that is our engine, determines how we deal with our challenges, we deal with our joy, we deal with our careers, we deal with our marriages, we deal with everything in our lives. And if you feed your thoughts with negativity, we will see. The Bible says we will see the tree by But it's food. So rona psychologists, we see you by your behavior and we know how you think. Same WhatsApp group, only different terminology, you know. So we see you by your behavior. You come into my office and you're looking down and doing things I know, negative feeding, galore in her mind. So we feed our minds with negative thoughts, and I know that people who don't think and who don't believe that they can actually control their thoughts. We do control our thoughts. We are not puppets. Remember that always, for we are not a puppet. And no one dumps their negative thoughts in your head. You can decide what you want to think and how you want to think about it, and whether you want to stop thinking about that thing, and whether you want that thing to manifest into emotions or action in your life. You are in total control of what is happening within you. And no one should come and tell you that you are not. You are. And remember one thing, that they say we are made. I like that one. I say it all the time. If you hear me talk the other time, bear with me. I said it. We are made in the image of God, isn't it? And if you all believe in God, we know that we are told that God is love. So if we are made in the image of God, who are we? We are love. And when they describe God, they say God is omnipotent. God has all the power. God can do everything. So what does it mean? We are all powerful because God gave us that power. But what do we do with it? We believe the outside world is telling us, you don't look good. Because the world then prescribes little boxes to put us in, you know, so that we can actually exist in little boxes. The other day I had a client of a boy who is, I call him talented, he's gifted. And after he left, I thought to myself, you know, there's something wrong that is happening around the world. And because we can't define things, we have to box them. How do I describe him? Let me give you an example of what happened. He wrote a test last week, a stats test at varsity. My clients are students. I work for UP as well. He wrote a test, stats. And he came to me and said, last week I wrote a test, and before I came to you, I was very anxious. I know we dealt with the anxiety. And I said, okay, so what happened? What happened with the test? He said, it was out of 15. And I said, okay, and? He says, I got a 15.5. And I'm like, oh, so you got a 15.5? Yes. What does that mean? I don't know, my lecturer gave me 5 for a half a mark for being excellent. So basically, for being excellent. And it's a stats test. Why? Because we all believe and think that stats is hard. And that's what we think. And when you look at stats is just a method of understanding information and quantifying it. So if you understand the background of stats, then that becomes easy because it becomes a tool for you to understand how many young girls are getting pregnant before the age of 15. And that's how the statisticians report to us. But when they get information, it's pure data. They had to quantify it. And he said to me, I got 15.5, but I'm still not impressed. And I thought, but you got everything right. Why are you not impressed? Because my other friend got 15 and 10, like 15 point, like plus 10 on top of 15. And I said, oh, so what's the problem? No, man, I'm angry because someone else was better than me, because I was believing that I am the best, you know, I'm the man in class. And then I found out that, oh, there's someone who's better than me. And then I realized that, okay, this is what we do. We see a very beautiful mind. Even there's a movie called Beautiful Mind. We see a person with a beautiful mind who can do things that are beyond what we can do. And what do? We give them Ritalin. We say they have ADHD, they are too active, they are destructive, they are what? We want them to keep still and know their place. And we pump them with Ritalin. And what happens after that? The child is normal according to our standards. Whereas we have numbed their mind to work exclusively. So I'm saying this because I think I know as parents generally, especially of growing up children, we normally have challenges like that. You find your child can't sit still in class, they can't concentrate, they can't comprehend information. You take them to doctors, they are pumped with Ritalin. There are other ways of dealing with it. One of the best ways is to embrace the child and go along with them to make them more powerful. You may find your child is going to invent another different aeroplane that you've never been in 10 years to come, because that's a special mind. And the minute I started seeing that boy as a special mind and started talking to him at his level, he was shining, his eyes were glowing, he was beautiful, because now he found somebody who can actually accept him with his funny intelligence and actually embrace it. So basically I'm saying, embrace people who are different from you. There's nothing wrong with them. And remember that everything that happens in your emotions, I feel depressed, I feel sad, is because you have thought about it first. It's never the way, another way around. Usually we think, I feel first, I'm feeling like this, but why do you feel like that? If you go deeper, why do you feel like that? If you feel, for instance, you feel jealous about somebody, and you just think it's a feeling, it comes from somewhere, it has a base. So investigate your mind, interrogate your mind, and don't live as a puppet, because you're not a puppet. So anything that comes into your mind, you interrogate it. You ask yourself, and once you get used to interrogating yourself as you go through your life, believe you me, it takes less than 2 seconds to ask yourself, why am I feeling like this? Why am I not comfortable? Okay, Marie, because I'm standing amongst tall people and I don't think people will see me. Oh, so you feel inferior? Oh, yeah, I feel inferior. Why? Because maybe you're going to, you tell yourself funny stories. You then start listening to your own stories. And because you start listening to your own stories, you have the power to change them. And then we are saying you are changing your narrative. So believe first that you have the power to change your thoughts, and therefore you have the power to change your emotions. And if you choose to feel good about yourself every day, that's what you will feel. Because you wake up in the morning, the house will be bent down, but you say, how do I feel about it? Oh, sad, I'm frustrated. Okay, let me call other people, the fire extinguisher, the municipality and whatever, make what's supposed to happen. Call the relevant people, then thereafter say, but I am still intact. I am still okay, I can still run. I can still go to work, as long as I've dealt with this problem that I have. So, be aware of your thoughts. There's a first step to personal mastery. Be aware of how you think. Be aware of what you communicate to other people, because that is what is in your mind. And that translates to your heart. And your heart says, it stimulates, it takes out your emotions. If you're forever happy, it means you're feeding your mind with forever happy thoughts. And therefore your heart with forever happy thoughts. And when your heart is happy, what happens to your body? You walk around jumping. You're always jumping because you're always happy. And that's what you project. And which means you're operating at a peaceful soul level. Your soul is pure and nothing can touch it. And when you're at that point, really, really indeed, nothing can touch you. Nothing. People can say whatever they say. It is their problem. It's not your problem. It is their problem, not yours. Embrace your life as it is. When you look at personal mastery, we also say we have different areas of our lives. Over and above having our emotions and our thoughts and our bodies, physical activities, those three things, we apply them onto our different areas of our lives. What are those areas? Firstly, ourselves, managing our lives. Secondly, managing our physical life. Are we exercising? Are we eating well? Or are we eating what is nice? No, you don't have to eat what is nice, eat what is well. Eat what will nurture your body. Are we spiritually sound? And when I say are we spiritually sound, I'm not saying do you go to church every day. There's a difference. You can go to church every day but still remain empty and still remain spiritually dormant. Are you spiritually sound? And when you're spiritually sound, it elevates you to a point where whatever happens around you, you already know why it happens. And it is for you to accept things as they happen because you know they're happening in divine order. Nothing happens at the wrong time. Nothing. Example, I may be bumped by someone at a robot and I waste time there and things go their own way and I'm angry, Now I'm in an accident, I can't make it to the workshop and things just get out of the way. And then I later realized, actually, just across next robot, there was a major accident. And if that car didn't bump me, I was going to be part of that major accident and maybe die or end up in hospital. So nothing happens out of divinity. It may be how bad. It may be how bad, but everything happens in divine order. Someone will come and say, "Hi, Mara, I don't understand. My mom just died. Look at me. I'm still 30. I haven't started a family. I have life to live." And she dies. How does God expect us to live? And you come back to me and tell me, what is love? What is that? You should understand that what is happening now is not what's supposed to happen. How am I supposed to cope? And tell the person, your mom has done what they were supposed to do on earth. They're done. They're finished. If you look at matric, how life was supposed to end at matric, that's it. You're done. There's nothing more for you to be here. You must go and get other deeper challenges. This is your life. How do you want to live it going forward without your mother? What did you learn from your mother while she was still here? And basically it makes people realize that every person that is in your life is valuable. And take all the lessons while they are still here. Don't regret. Then we have the financial and the career life, which is a major issue for a lot of people because we spend most of our time at work, we spend most of our life trying to get a career. That's the purpose of us going to school, going to university, and getting jobs. But there are people who are in jobs, there are people who are in their careers. And I suppose you know the difference between the two. Yeah. And if you run your career like you're running a job, it will remain being a job. But if you know that it's a career that needs to be developed, it needs to be nurtured, it will become a career and you will be fulfilled. And remember that what you choose as your career becomes the tool and the trait of yourself. It becomes your brand. And then I will describe, "Ma'am, kagiso mo feng wa OT." Why is that kagiso fel? Re kagiso wa OT. And anyone who met kagiso ile OT, oh yeah. That has become her brand. But what is your brand? Are you just living your life? Are you just going to work? Are you complaining every day about things that are not there? Have I left the laptop or have I left the pencil? They don't give us lunch. What are you complaining about? Why are you complaining about those things? Are they important? Do they matter? Remember, you are the one who matter, not things around you. You are the one who matter. And you're the one who decides whether your career will be something that will fly you to the higher level. And at that higher level, that's when you start impacting on other people's lives. When you're in a job, you always work for yourself. When you're in a career, you ultimately start touching lives of the rest of the world. And if you're not leaving your trademark where you walk, then you are making a mistake. Start today and zoom into the future. Imagine yourself at 60 and say, what will be the legacy that I want to leave on earth when I leave? And I'm building that now. And if I'm not, what is blocking me? Identify those stumbling blocks. And remember, it's up to us. We all meet things. We meet rocks, we meet potholes, we meet speed humps, traffic jams, roadblocks, anything on the road. But it's up to us how we choose to pass those things. Whether you pass them only angry or pothole, my car went into a pothole and you make it a big deal. It's up to you. But do you learn from it? Do you feel it as something that you can take for yourself and move forward? What do you do with it? And when you meet a speed hump, do you just acknowledge it just was there for me to reduce my speed a little bit so that I can actually look around and see where I'm going? Because if you don't look around and see where you're going, you may crash. So as you build your career and as you build your life, look out for those things. And everything that comes your way, treat it as feedback. Life gives us feedback throughout. So if at some point you say, I don't know, I didn't know that he was married, and now we have 2 kids, and now he's telling me that he can't leave his wife, suddenly his wife met us. Why? Why from the onset didn't you become aware that he is married? Because it's very simple. Very simple. You ask yourself a few questions. And you ask him a few questions. You interact with him in certain ways that will make you aware that more, or something more, or side cheek. And validate and find out why. And if you prefer to be a side chick, there's nothing wrong. It's up to you. That's your life. But don't come to me later on and say, you know. There's nothing like it. We all know. We have something here that is called our gut feeling. We have what is called our instinct. It can tell you if you're going the wrong direction. It immediately goes ember. But most of us choose not to listen. That's why I say we all have the tools to live a good life. Only if you can sit back and listen to ourselves. But we never listen to ourselves. We never take the time. However, that's nice because you come to me. And then we have the other element of your life, your family. Your family of origin. Your mom, your dad, your cousins, your uncles. All those people have an impact on you. And you choose how they come into your life. It's your choice, it's no one's choice. And dealing with the world, we need to develop our own personal boundaries around ourselves. If your boundaries are soft, anyone will come in. But if you have firm boundaries, people will knock before they come into your life. And it's true that we teach people how they should interact with us. People don't just be rude to you, they have learned from you. People don't just choose to stumble on you and use you. They have learned. Like I used to, if I go, I'll get what I want. They have learned. So you need to take that feedback and say, what do I need to change? How do I interact with my family in such a way that I remain the strong person, I remain peaceful, I remain happy? I'm not saying kick your family out, but define how you relate with them and be happy with it. Stop complaining. Do something about it. And the other important one is our relationships, our personal relationships, how we relate with our loved ones. That is a very critical area, a very sticky area. And usually we get compromised because we don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to lose the people that we love. And we are told that it's very cold out there. And if you lose this person, you are going to suffer. You know. Recently, I had someone who said, "Marriage is your protector. It protects you from the world and from all the other scavengers out there." Maybe true, but is it the reason why you should stay even if you're not happy? No. Same as your family. You define your boundaries. You define your rules, you define your T's and C's, terms and conditions. Those are yours. And you become open with them. You don't play your cards close to your chest or you hide your card. And later on, bring it out and surprise someone else. You become honest all the time. And for you to manage to deal with these things, life demands of us to have values. Things that you build your principles on. And once you have those principles, they become your guardian angels around everything that you do. Whether you go through career problems, whether you go through your marital problems, or whether you go through financial problems, you have certain principles that you apply in your life. For instance, I'll make just a silly example that you get to find out that there's a tender in one of the departments. But for you to get a tender, you need to give the procurement manager some amount of money. Procurement manager will have to give somebody something, and you have to define the percentages around the tender amount that you give to each person. Then you'll get the tender. What is that? That is corruption, that is dishonesty. Do you run your life with dishonesty? If you don't, you just tell the procurement manager, "Hey, wait again, I'll just submit the tender. If I don't qualify, it's okay. I'll get another one. I'll get the one that I qualify." I'm not saying don't talk to procurement managers. Talk to them. Be their friends. But don't be involved in things that can come back to you. Look what is happening around us currently. Everybody's getting fired. Everybody's going to commissions. Everybody is doing this and that. And if you did your things right, you know, we are not going to say about you, your day is coming. As they say, every dog has its day. So your day is always bright. For us to manage our different pillars of life, which becomes our existence, our life, our personal life, our finances, our money, things like that, we have different, as I said earlier, our emotions and our thoughts. When we have our negative emotions, most of the time they are based on fear. Two fundamentals: fear, love. You either act out of love or you act out of fear. And emotions that come from fear are very common, are very easy to identify. Jealousy, loneliness, being scared, low self-esteem, inferiority complex. Those come from fear. Fear of losing something, fear of losing your position, fear of not being identified, fear of not seen, fear of living your life as you want to live it. But we forget something. Just the opposite side is love. And what does love mean? Remember when I started, I said, God is love and therefore we are love. It is our base. It is where we start from. If you operate from love, it means we don't fear anything. It doesn't mean we are brave. Hey, that's how to get cheaper. No, we are not going to do that. But we are brave and bold with our lives. And nothing shakes us. And anything that comes our way, whether it's negative, it's horrible, it's tough, we sit and look at it and interpret it and check, why is it happening to me at this point in life? What am I supposed to learn? What am I supposed to take out of it? And always have your takeaways. Always have your takeaways. There's always a takeaway. And the biggest takeaway in everything that you do is unconditional self-love. In any decision that you make, just look at yourself and say, will this reflect that I love myself? What am I saying? What am I teaching my children? What am I teaching my cousins and my nieces and my nephews? That I'm doing things out of fear? No. Divorce that woman if she's doing nonsense. Don't stay because you fear whether she is a CEO or COO and they will say you are stupid. No. Do everything from a point of love. And remember that if I come to you and bump into you, what must come out of you should be everything that resembles love. It's like you're holding a cup of water as you walk around. That cup of water or a cup of coffee, if somebody bumps into you, it's going to spill out. What will spill out of you? Ask yourself. Is it love? Is it fear? And all that, if you don't apply it properly in our lives, then result in what we call psychological illnesses, mental illnesses. And it starts small, like I am stressed. These days we throw it around. I am depressed, I am stressed. But what is it? What is depression? What is stress? What is that? It's actually everything that is opposite to what I just told you in the past few minutes. Just taking love from a fear perspective and actually feeling scared and not being able to do it. Do it even if you are scared. Take that first step. Then you are on your way to living. And remember that every stressor that comes into your life is nudging you to a certain direction. And if you refuse to move, then you remain there forever. And you're not because when you just want to stay there. You are okay with your problems. And actually there are people who are okay with problems, who are okay with being depressed. When they come here, you know the first thing that they're going to tell you, yo, wait, I hate that woman. What came out? Feelings of fear. What are you doing about it? What are you learning from it? When I go to complain, you're not doing anything to build yourself for busy, complain all the time. Do something about it because it's giving you feedback about you. It's not about that woman. Why is she in your life? It's not about that terrible colleague. Why are you working with him? In divine order. He is there because you need to learn something. He is there because you need to change something about yourself. You need to change something about how you do things. You need to change something about how you think about things. Your frame of reference must change a bit. You need to stop looking through this window. You just need to shift a little bit to the other window. And you see life differently. That's all you need. And instead of doing that, we start doing negative things to show we're depressed, renal stress. We become alcoholics. You know, all types of alcohols that come into being. We drink a lot every week. Or, if we are men, we start womanizing. We have a different woman every week. If you are a woman, you start manizing. We have a man every week. I was listening to this one lady yesterday. She was talking about Nigerian men. And I'm looking at her and thinking, so you got tired and decided to start trying Nigerians. So it's that. You start doing things where you think you'll find your happiness and peace. Whereas you're actually destroying yourself. You become a reckless person with your life. And when we look at you, we see that you don't love yourself. You let go of the power that you had. That power that comes into your life through your love. You let go of it. You gave it to the universe to do as it wants. And now life is just happening. You're not in control anymore. You're just rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. I know I'm running out of time. So, for us to deal with stress, what do we do? For us to avoid reaching a point where we say we are depressed or we are having a psychological problem. I'm not talking about people who experience schizophrenia, who are in mental hospitals. That's a completely different thing. I'm talking about things that we experience as people who are normal, just going through abnormal issues in our lives. What do? You identify the issue. You identify it as it is. You don't give it a different name. If you are abused, you are abused. I swear, it's not because when you came late and your man slept you. No. That interaction is abusive. Identify it and name it. And once you identify it and name it, you're going to be able to deal with it. But if you don't name it, what are you dealing with? Nothing. Develop supportive relationships around you. As the poet said, it only takes a phone call. Phone someone. Someone who's not going to feed into your negativism, but someone who's going to push you out of it. Who's going to make you think differently. At that point, you may hate him and think, how I'm stressed. Did I go to a doctor? You need people like that in your life. You need someone like that who's going to shake your mind up and make you realize that you are actually going the wrong way. Have hobbies, but hobby. What do you do in your spare time? I don't hobby. I hope not. They don't have hobbies. They don't have things that they can do when they are not doing anything. Identify something that you like and something that can push you up. And do it. And feel good about yourself. So please, if you don't have a hobby, today, now, start. Whether it's writing, whether it's poetry, whether it's music, just take it to another level. Do something about it. Let's see it. You're hobby. You're doing something. Exercise. Keep your body good. If you don't exercise, look at your car. Every 10,000 kilometers, I think, I'm not sure, 10,000, 15,000 kilometers, what do you do with it? You take it for service. Why? But why do you take it? Just to check, okay? And just to ensure it runs properly. But why don't you do it with yourself? Go for these checkups. Visit your doctor. Visit me. Talk to me about things, and keep yourself running. And keep yourself in order. Do that. Rest. Some of us don't rest. We work and work and work and work and work because we are looking at what we want to achieve. Our kids, we need to take them to that particular school. They need to wear certain clothes. We need certain things. But why do you need those things? Just check with yourself. Why am I dying? Because what I can't so sobrati. Be different again. Let's go, guy. What's the other shop? Let's go. Be different guys. Ask yourself, why do you do that? And do what you want to do when as a person. And stop worrying about what you saw somebody wearing and what you saw somebody driving. That is their life. You don't know what they do when you are sleeping. You don't know. So keep to your track. Stay in your lane. And the biggest one, nurture in you a life of being grateful. Be grateful. Just be grateful for just waking up in this morning. But have you ever thought about it? Pila sleep is a very scary place. Think about it. When you are sleeping, it's very scary. Because you don't know. You don't know what's going on. You are dead. You are gone. You are gone. And then you just wake up and take a bath and go. It's okay. Take time. Breathe. And as you put your feet on the floor, be thankful. Or my feet can sense the carpet or the tile, whatever that is in your bedroom. And as you open the tap to rinse your mouth and to brush your teeth, be thankful for the water. Go Cape Town, but melametsi. Go to hotel. You're supposed to use this much, ma'am. You've overused your dosage for the day. Be thankful. And you don't have to think about other things. Just look at you. Just look at you. There's so much to be thankful for. You don't have one eye. You don't have a nose that is below your mouth. You can hear properly. You can see properly. You can walk. Just be thankful for those simple things. And can you imagine one day you wake up and you're told that there's a problem with oxygen? Somehow oxygen is not there. We can't breathe, so we must make sure that we plant more trees. Can you imagine? Think about it. So there's so much to be thankful for. So let's learn to be grateful. Let's learn to thank whoever created our world, that we are living in it every day positively and we're living in it good. And the last thing, maybe, every day, find something in your environment that can make you laugh and blow oxygen into your lungs. Just find something that can make you laugh and make you happy. And sometimes it doesn't even take much. You find someone who comes in for therapy, feeling depressed. The only thing that can work for that person is when I take that person out and say, let's go for a walk. And you go for a walk quiet, none of us talking. And when you come back, they'll have a different view of things because they've realized there are flowers, there's a pond that they never saw before, there are cats running around, they never saw those cats, chickens. Just appreciate the sun, the weather, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And that is a base for all the other psychological illnesses that you find. Yes, there are those that need severe treatment. But if you're still working every day and you're still going to work, just know that it starts with you. Your psychological wellness starts with you. Your view of things, your base. Is your base negative? Is it acidic? Is it alkaline? What is it? And how do you want to change it? Is it working for you? Don't think laziness is an option. Being lazy is not an option. It actually feeds into you becoming a psychologically impaired person because you're not using everything in your body it's supposed to be used. Be proud with the work that you have because that is your trademark that you're signing as you walk around, that we know that you passed, you existed. Create a name for yourself. Create a life for yourself. Define what is good for yourself and what is bad for yourself. And that is bad for yourself, reject it. And don't be apologetic. It's you who will suffer ultimately. Because we are taking in everything. So have strong boundaries around yourselves and take control. And above all, don't forget, you are made in the image of God, whoever your God is. And that God is love. And if your base is love for everything that you do, you'll never go wrong. Thank you.